This BoJack episode changed everything. He's talking about the Showstopper, which is my favorite episode of BoJack Horseman. Let's get into it, bro.
Right off the bat, they twist the notion of which show you're even watching to align with BoJack's mixed perception of reality. They don't even say this show is a Netflix original this episode.
Filbert, I don't want to be one of those girls, but did you murder your wife?
It's incredible how every piece of dialogue for Filbert can be a cliche. Honestly impressive. The little shake that the set gets from an entire atom bomb absolutely kills me. And you have to give them credit for not only creating an entirely new intro for this fake show, but also for nailing the crime show-esque tone and soundtrack, overly gritty and dark, trying way too hard, by the way. I also always get a nice chuckle at this bomb map, which shows an impossibly high number of nukes being detonated for anyone to survive, yet this show is somehow critically acclaimed. Never noticed these US-Russian hybrid dollars with Putin's face on them. That shit is wild.
I've never seen anything.
Obligatory LA traffic is insanely bad joke, but this one's honestly a hilarious twist on that. Glad we solved that mystery. Forming a horse face at the end of this is actually pretty cool. If this was a real show, I'd honestly get a kick out of that.
Cut.
I love the really harsh first cut after this extended section of being immersed in Filbert as a show, really jarring for us, as it is for BoJack.
That fake yogurt costs $500 a cup.
Glad to know money is being spent in the right place.
It's been 2 months since the first season of Filbert came out.
Mirroring this opening monologue with Filbert's.
But even better for Gina.
And just like Filbert with Sassy, he's putting Gina on a pedestal, setting her up for devastation later on. I'm just going to do 1 point for all these amazing animal puns in the background, although Marmo's set There'd Be Days Like This gets an extra point because that pun is kind of a step above. And this first flash is like...
The way... This is the reason why I love this episode. Because the way that they parallel Filbert and BoJack's real life, the first time I watched this episode, I genuinely didn't know when it was on set or not. Now that I've seen this show about 5 times already, now I know, obviously I know which one it is. But the way that it was able to parallel both so you can see BoJack's mind and understand what's going on is why I love the episode so much. This episode is so good. Like, the way that they put so much detail into everything matches it perfectly.
Like a jump scare. Not only showing you BoJack's deep abuse of his medication, but also how it's beginning to affect his perception of general reality.
But I still have this little rancid itch saying something isn't right. It's like there's always something lurking just beyond the horizon.
And I love showing the balloon. That thing lurking on the horizon that will destroy this good life that doesn't really exist.
That's what I'm saying. The thing that's lurking is really just him. The balloon is such good symbolism for this show. Because it's him. It's him. The balloon is him. It's him floating because he's high right now. And him, something lurking, is him. It's him. That's what it is.
This is BoJack himself. He's already destroying it. Another really confusing cut where it almost interrupts our BoJack scene.
Oh, Filbert, that's awful. I know how much you didn't want him to be murdered.
Sassy, put on some pants.
And I do like the excessive use of the characters' names in dialogue, as it really helps clue us in on just how far BoJack has spiraled down at this point. He's still calling Gina's character Sassy on
Even
the
though
set.
they're not.
It's a developing issue, and it grows faster and faster as the episode moves on.
The strangling looks fake.
Creepy foreshadowing.
What's going on with you?
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, because this time, it's business.
Again, BoJack's thinking is falling more in line with Filbert than his own. The act descriptions on the wall behind BoJack in this scene line up with the events of the episode that we are currently watching. Moving further with the delusion, as the Filbert film grading makes its first appearance outside of the show.
Popsicle guys.
Hey, buddy, is everything okay in here?
This illusion is only shattered when someone who can't possibly fit in that universe enters, Princess Carolyn.
What's in those pills you keep taking?
How about if you really cared, you should have been there the day I fell off a building.
Deflection to avoid anyone addressing the actual problem.
Jack?
You're doing a great job making me feel like I give a shit. You're gonna be an awesome mom.
A really
that
cool
was-
way of showing
wow.
how BoJack's illness can manifest in casual cruelty to those around him.
And Princess Carolyn's getting all up in my business. She told me that I seem not okay and was spinning out and...
The paranoia mounting and making things even worse is also extremely realistic. Subtle, but the first time we see one of these hiding spaces is after Gina and PC begin questioning his ingestion of pills, almost as if he feels he can't do it in public anymore. And now we've fully moved into dissociation territory. He literally feels as if he's on a set in his own home. I do love that
Which is
this plays
crazy.
into how he feels about being a person in general, as in Free Churro, he states that most of his behavior is modeled by the people he saw on television anyway, as if his whole life is an act. Also, a cool thing is that these stairs, as revealed later, lead straight to BoJack facing himself and what he's done. He could choose to do this earlier and save himself from what's coming, but he doesn't until it's too late because he's generally afraid. The hiding spots get so weird, it almost gets hard for us to tell what's real, but I'm pretty sure this one is. And how do you even accomplish this one?
Oh my
This is when the
god.
episode started to become a horror movie. For me, like I said, things are starting to move faster and faster, and it gets to an alarming pace really quickly. Love the immediate return of the grating upon receiving the note.
The BoJack mysteries will continue after this.
And then they further blur the line with
Yes.
this narration and a commercial break.
Hello. I hope you're enjoying Filbert.
Plus, I love how they played around with this concept for laughs, just really clever storytelling, and they use every aspect of it as much as they can. The pipe burning a hole in his jacket kills me too, as a visual gag.
Who said this? What do they know? Do they know things?
Let's find
Let's
out.
find out.
Epic reference.
Did the LA Gazette come today?
Also, a nice reference to the LA Gazette from season 3. They will never go out of business, will they?
Whatever
I
this
promise
thing
they
has
won't.
on me could ruin the show. And there goes Gina's newfound happiness. I gotta find out who sent this, for her sake.
I love the contradiction of BoJack going the extra mile to save Gina this episode, but it only ending up hurting her more because he pulls her in closer to his destructive behavior.
She used to be one of my closest friends.
Used to.
Times change.
Excellent parallels once
Oh
again.
my
but
God,
also a
he's
good
gonna
statement to clarify their development considering their last interaction.
Well, who'd you piss off this week?
She's right. A lot of people have it out for me. But who the hell would want to hurt the chief?
We're
In
also
the way
going
they.
back and
Oh my god. So
forth between the two shows way more often. This scene with Diane is hardly more than 5 lines.
Who would want to take down BoJack Horseman?
look at
Again,
himself.
just great storytelling with the balloon drifting in right as he questions who's going to take him down. Lots of great animal celebrity puns in his contact list, and I also appreciated the do not call notes. Makes sense and is also very telling. And this actually made my breath catch in my throat. Kyle
Yeah, thank
stirring
you.
olive oil into his pasta, even though we have been told by the writers that it doesn't work. Classic doofy Kyle.
Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your daughter's sexual maturity?
Very cringe-inducing scene. Thanks for bringing back all
Yeah,
those
that was
Escape
so
from LA
bad.
feelings, writers. Really appreciate that.
And the Olive Garden won't deliver. Sure, when you're there, you're family.
Okay, Flip, that line's actually kind of funny.
Oh shit, what time is it? I gotta get to set.
We are on set.
BoJack's location confusion gets significantly worse, and definitely confuses the viewer more, especially since this is supposed to be the set, but it's colored normally as if BoJack was home.
Someone is hiding something.
How did you know? Did you talk to Diane?
Yes, I did talk to Diane.
Even though this episode is pretty much all BoJack, they also do a good job of including the other storylines and then using them to fuel BoJack's paranoia.
There's gotta be a simple explanation.
No, I'm telling you, this whole thing is rotten, Gina.
You said Gina again.
What?
And now
Oh my!
things
It
get-
like. That's crazy. But the way that he's actually like dead confused. The way that he's actually confused is just. Bruh.
even more confusing. There's even an establishing shot of the outside of BoJack's house in this scene, just flat out, like, lying to the audience. So great at putting us in BoJack's shoes and what he is currently perceiving.
The character's name is Sassy.
Right.
Ugh, and when we cut back after BoJack's worldview is corrected, the Filbert grating returns. So good.
But I don't trust her.
Filbert is still stupid as a show, but this scene is subtly telling us also what BoJack is thinking. Fritz is Filbert, aka BoJack, so in his own mind, there's a growing distrust of Gina, even if he feels he's trying to protect her.
What do they all have in common?
This gag gets me every time.
This whole show is designed to reveal my secrets and destroy me.
I love how it's evident how his narcissism fuels part of these delusions. An entire show created just to expose you? Come on now.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's a conspiracy to destroy you. Protect Gina. Got it.
This poor intern.
We'll continue after this.
What?
I I like getting a glimpse of the outside of BoJack's mind here, showing that as he cuts to commercial, he's really just spacing out. He is genuinely losing his mind.
Literally, bro.
You're at home.
Ah! It's starting to move too fast.
BoJack, what's going on with you?
I can't tell her the truth. She's safer knowing nothing.
Look
I
at saying
love
out
the phrase,
loud.
She's safer not knowing the truth as a rationalization for why he doesn't confide in Gina about what he's going through. He has to protect her from himself. Point for the stress. The speed
Like,
of the
this
building,
is
taking
crazy.
pills, not focusing on where he's going, it's really, really tense. And what a way to portray what BoJack is feeling right now. And even though there's nothing overtly terrifying about this image in itself, it is such a creepy and effective cut. The billboard is also smart, because at this point I'm still unsure if this is an ad for Filbert or if BoJack is hallucinating it. Things are blending so well, it's hard to tell at this point.
The gif is up, Bozo. Spill the beefs.
And now BoJack's behavior is also overly erratic. What he's saying to Todd here doesn't even make any sense.
Did you hate that you were a nothing and I was a successful cop?
Easy to miss, but BoJack also calls himself a successful cop.
Frisk, put down the gun.
Creative way to fuel these delusions with another different storyline. I honestly don't know how they keep working Henry Fondle into the plot.
BoJack, hold on.
This moment is great. This is when the episode drops all appearance of structure and reality. We're not cutting between reality and
What's in
Filbert
his brain,
anymore.
bro?
They are the same thing at this point.
Life is a never-ending show, my friend.
Gina singing as a reference to her side plot earlier this season.
Is everyone you know, my friend?
These uncanny actors creep me out so bad.
They look
especially with their
so
raw
bad.
styles. Portraying the most influential locations of his life as sets.
You are a rotten little cob, my friend.
The addition of Sharona here was so fantastic when it aired, as there had been no direct mention of her since season 1 before this. It was an excellent way to allude to a mystery that many people had been discussing for years.
Don't stop dancing till the curtains fall.
This song is representative of BoJack's statement earlier this season about his entire life feeling like a performance.
Why not sell your sadness as a brand?
The commentary about commodifying yourself is also an interesting piece of this song and gives you further glimpse into BoJack's life as a celebrity.
Zooms you, but you just keep grinning. The ache becomes you, and it's just beginning.
This musical number is also really effective, building tension in the background while retaining that show tune sensibility. It's musically composed very well.
Nothing's certain, but the curtain.
You see him go away and
Excellent
hit him
depiction
because
of
it's him.
literally dancing until you die, performing and performing only until you can't. I love this ending, too. It's not only extremely scary and jarring, but it's also BoJack literally being hurt by himself.
And the way they just switched it back to. This is what I'm talking about, bro. This show is so good. The way that they transition from the dream into automatically making it feel like when his brain of Filbert.
Literally being hurt by himself. What a transition to the final act. So smooth.
It's about Fritz.
And again, the mirroring between Sassy accusing Filbert and Gina accusing BoJack is genius storytelling, especially for the result of this scene.
Yeah, because
You
it's
told me
both
about
of them.
Fritz killing your wife. Something didn't add up. I tried to find Fritz in the system, but there's no record of him ever existing.
And this twist for Filbert is absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Once
The way that the show was able to make them so parallel to each other made it just so much better. Because I mean, he's right. I mean, Filbert is not like an amazing show, but the way that they was able to make Fritz be like, "Yo, BoJack, that's actually you. You're making up a story," and the way that Gina was like, "Yo, BoJack, you're taking these pills. You made yourself up." Both characters both saw Gina and whatever her character is in the show as evil against them, as them trying to stop them and put him down. So that just made what's about to happen just better. Even not better as in it should happen. That was a whole bunch of what I did, but it made what happened just. The episode's so good.
Once again, mirroring BoJack's own issues in a very obvious way.
There's no record of you ever having a partner at all.
What do you say?
Great cinematography
That was
here,
her.
too. As Filbert asserts his innocence, the camera swings towards Sassy, but after her reveal that it was all him, it continues moving from the other side, showing that the tables have turned in their dynamic. Taking the jacket off is integral to further cement the confusion.
Come on, Gina.
soundtrack remaining consistent between the two scenes is very smart as well.
It's a copy of the note that Filbert gets.
You sent this note.
The transitions are so smooth, even with the color grading differences.
You're a goddamn mess and you're gonna ruin my show.
Oh, your show?
It's not what I meant.
No. That's very helpful. Now I understand what you're worried about.
And so realistic that BoJack grips onto this one slip-up from Gina to prove to himself that she doesn't actually care. Also, he can continue justifying
Yeah,
taking the pill.
literally, all she said was one thing. Yeah, she messed up by saying the one show, but that was enough for BoJack to deflect what's going on. Literally, that was enough.
I'm not kidding. The pills. Now!
Honestly, this is one of the
Oh my
first times
God.
I felt truly scared of BoJack. We get
Yeah,
so
that
familiar with him,
that
and
was
how
insane.
intimidating he can be. He is a giant horse. And then the scenes fully blend and are cut together, almost impossible to tell the difference. All BoJack can comprehend right now is his rage and confusion. And while outside of set, Gina was able to leave, on the set, BoJack has her cornered. All the emotions from their fight completely fresh on his mind since they feel like they're occurring right then, and fueling that intense rage to the point where he doesn't know the difference between BoJack and Filbert.
He doesn't.
Or when to stop.
Really? Strangling her.
What? Oh no.
And then look at the. And then this nigga is just letting it roll.
Turn the camera back on.
5 points for the composition of this scene. No music, just really detailed.
That's like this show's so good. This show's so good. The way that they was able to cut that music and to just have us like this scene genuinely had me scared for Gina because all you hear is everybody just scared. You hear Gina choking in the background, and you know that the scene was done because he said, "You know what? Turn the camera back on." Like
sounds of Gina choking and genuinely fighting for her life as the other characters stare and try to comprehend what's happening. Flip's true apathy to any actual person is revealed in a moment that honestly emptied me out. I was terrified for Gina's life here, and I wasn't sure if anyone would actually save her.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Using the one fuck of the season here to add impact. It's too late, but he has no other choice. He has to.
He has to.
And now, everything that he's done.
himself. Look at the way he's looking at himself. The ending
Such a
was
simple
so good.
ending, but so powerful as a moment. 5 points.
This is why I love this show. This is why I love this show. Like, genuinely, this is one of my favorite shows to watch because this episode is my favorite show in the season. Obviously what happens at the end is horrible, but the way that they was able, the whole show, the way that at the beginning you can kind of tell when it's being 50-50, but the way that it kept on going to the end where you just saw it being parallel, you really saw what's going on. Jesus. Let that show. Let that show, bro. Jesus, bro. That was such a good video. That was a good video. I like this now. I watch it all the time. It's extra level story to realize BoJack was scared that someone would find out about his role in Sarah Lynn's death. I wish you could have part Miss Peter who jumped in to rescue and pulled away from her. That's real. That's real. Because it's crazy. 5 hours crazy. It's crazy because really, bro, she was gonna die. If Mr. Peanut Butter did not jump in, she's gonna die. I always saw BoJack's balloons as perfect metaphor for BoJack's inflated ego. Oh my god. I love how they give you a false sense of relief before the end. You worry about choking at BoJack house as the color grade is confusing. Do you leave as Gina escape the situation only for your stomach to drop as BoJack keeps so good? It only occurred to me that time for choking scene at least a few hours apart in universe. BoJack's warp second mistake rage for hours. So good. So good. So good. Another show.